So, good evening, one and all. So, today we are going to see about introduction to TensorFlow from AI. Okay, TensorFlow for AI. So, this program is sponsored by Sri Dharmasathala Manjunadeswara College of Engineering and Technology. Okay, and this program is conducted by Department of Information Engineering, Information Science and Engineering. So here you can today we are going to see about introduction to TensorFlow for AI. So before we are entering into the session, I would like to give special thanks to the respected department and then who conducting this wonderful webinar, that is principals and coordinators about those. Okay, so I need to tell some few peoples before we starting this webinar. So first of all, Chief Patron and Destination, the name Dr. D. Virendra Hizada. So he is the president of SDM Society, and we have another one, Dr. B. Yaso Verma. He is the secretary of SDME, and Sri Jivanandar Kumar. He is the secretary of SDME. So, and the principal Dr. K. Gobinath and SDME College of Engineering and Technology, and then convener Mr. Jagadish and D. Pujari. He is professor, both are the professor and HOD of the respected department. And I like to give special thanks to coordinator and staffs to conducting this wonderful webinar. So this is the college is established in 1979 itself, flagship of SDME Society, and has grown into the one of the national acclaimed premier engineering institution in the country. The president of SDME Society is Padma Bhusana of, and the respected they have now the admissions also opening on both the department, that is respected department, both the BTech and MTech. So they have a UG course, mostly 7 undergraduate courses will be there and 3 PG courses will be there, including like engineering analysis and design, and then 7 of its department has been recognized as an research center offering a PhD by the BTU, and 16 research scholars are receiving their PhD. Okay, so thank you for this wonderful webinar to conducting this, and principal Dr. K. Gobinath, and then HOD Dr. Jagadish and D. Pujari, and coordinator Dr. Vandana and S. Bahat, and then coordinator 2 Mrs. Leena Sakari. Okay, so thank you for this wonderful webinar conducting this association with Pantech e-learning. So let me enter into the webinar and we will see how we will use TensorFlow for AI. So before we enter into this, I like to introduce myself. I am Kamalesh. I am from Pantech e-learning, and we'll start the class now. So here TensorFlow for deep learning application. So these are the contents area we are going to cover in this today's webinar. So introduction first of all, and then architecture, and then how to download and install the TensorFlow, about notebook, and simple TensorFlow example. Okay, so this is the thing we are covering in today's webinar. First of all, you need to know what is TensorFlow and what are the things we need to use. So here we go into the introduction. So most famous deep learning library in the world is a TensorFlow only. Okay, so if you are here, definitely if you are science background, that is computer science background student or staff, means you will be know about definitely TensorFlow package, and it's a most popular one, famous one, and it's introduced by Google only. So Google produced the product, use the machine learning in all its product to improve the search engine and translation of image captioning and recommendation. The Google is introduced this TensorFlow package. So Here we have a history of TensorFlow. Yeah, a couple of years ago, the deep learning started its outperform all other machine learning. That is, if you why it's machine learning will be overcome of machine learning only. We introduced the deep learning. Why we came into deep learning means, first of all, machine learning is like if you are training the algorithm, we will if you are training the algorithm for machine learning type of algorithm, you need to give like low amount of data set, then it will be give the accuracy result correct. Okay, that is accuracy result will be improved manner. But if you move on to some large amount of data set for machine learning type of algorithm, the way of if you are training the, that is if you are increasing the data size, and the way of performance of machine learning algorithm will be reduced. Okay, so this is the one of the main reason we enter into the deep learning type of algorithms. So deep learning type of algorithm, we need only a large amount of data. How much you are giving a large amount of data, based upon that it will be trained and give the accuracy result. Okay, so if you are increasing the data and your prediction result also it's increased in manner. So that's why we enter into the deep learning, and it will be give for only for massive amount of data. Okay, and nowadays we are providing each and every day massive amount of data. Those amount of data you need to do some activities, that is you need to do some process with those data, means definitely you need to know. Okay, so definitely you need to need this deep learning type of algorithm. So that's why the Google introduced the deep learning type of algorithm one package that is called TensorFlow package. Okay, so here you can see Google have implemented the deep neural network to improve the services like Gmail and Photos and Google search engines. So Gmail means the Google introduced it into the Gmail for detecting the spam mails or not, like that. And Google Photos. Okay, so you will be, if you are using the Google Photos app, definitely you will know about that app, right? If you uploading any photos, automatically it will be index the each and every photos. For example, if we upload our friend's photo, means it will be detect the faces and it will be give the some index in front of the Google Photos app. You can take according to your whom you want. Okay, so that and all based upon deep neural network only. Okay, so Google Photos and Google search engine. So if you are going to search for anything in your Google search engine, you will be give some suggest, right? Like for example, how, if I give how to write. Okay, so if I type how to write, means automatically in downside we will get the suggestion list like how to write Python code, or how to write C++ code, or how to write C code, like that, right? So this are all based upon the TensorFlow only. Okay, so these are the area we are Google using mainly, like Gmail, Photos and Google search engines and these things. And here you can see this is, first of all, it's come to the public, that is they invented after it's first made for public on 2015 only, and after that they established the stable version. That is, before that we don't have any stable version, and after 2017 only they established the stable version. Okay, and 2017, and it's a open source only. It comes under Apache open source license. Okay, so each and every platform have some like if you are taking an Java code, they have some platform. If you're taking an Python code, they have some platform. So it will be comes under Apache open source license. Okay, and TensorFlow architecture. Here you can see TensorFlow architecture works in 3 parts. Okay, so the major part is pre-processing the data and building the model and train the estimator model. Okay, so pre-processing the data, build the model, train and estimate the model. Okay, so first of all, pre-processing the data is nothing but if you have any raw data, if you have any data set belongs to like heart disease prediction or diabetes prediction, if you have any data, those data you need to do some pre-process. Okay, because they will have any categorical value, or they will have any other non-categorical value, or you need to convert it into the categorical value. Like that, you need to do some process. You need to do some pre-process to, then only algorithm will be learned, right? So we need to do some pre-processing steps. Then after we done that pre-processing step, we will be move on to the build the model. That is, build the model is nothing but, if you take a simple neural network, you will have like input neurons. Okay, first you need to give the input neurons. After that, you need to give the hidden layers. Okay, input layers and hidden layers and output layers. Okay, so input layer is nothing but like we need to give some input and we need to give some hidden layer. So this is called hidden layer, and here we have a output layer. Okay, so input layer, right? So input layer is nothing but if we have any data, we need to pass those data into the input layer. Okay, after passing those data into the input layer, we need to pass the input data to the hidden layer. So at the time, I will use some activation function, and I will be find some values, and I will pass into the hidden layers. Okay, so hidden layers will be get the data from the each neurons. So this one is generally called as a fully connected layers. Okay, so each neurons will be connected with each hidden layers. Each input neurons will be connected with each hidden layers. So using the each line will be have some weight, unique weight. Okay, so just I am passing the input data into the hidden neurons. Okay, after I am passing that input data to the hidden neurons, and I will be get an output result by each neurons. Okay, each neurons have some, for example, if I take a threshold value 0.75, okay, so which if I get a 0.76 for first neurons, and 0.10 for next neurons, and 0.11 for next neurons, and 0.20 for last neurons, if I get, so 0.76. so this is threshold. For example, if I want to predict a cat or not a cat, so if it is a cat means we need to get more than 0.75 means if it is a cat. Okay, so if it is a not cat means less than 75 means it's a not cat. So here I am getting the most score value as a 0.76, so it will be give the result it's a cat. Okay, so like this we need to build the model, deep learning model. So input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. So this is simple deep neural network model. But if you take an deep learning algorithm, that is deep neural network algorithm, you will be have like before this input layer you will be have some neuron layers. Okay, based upon that neuron layers, I will be train the take some important data and predict to the output things. Okay, so that is the model, build the model, and training and estimating the model. So training and estimating the model means after you build the model, you need to pass the input data. After you passing into the input data, I will use some test data to the predict an output result. Okay, so that is training and estimating the model, and it's called as a TensorFlow. So normally if you need to do those process, you will do that process with using TensorFlow. Okay, so TensorFlow is the package to building those training model data. And we have input and multi-dimensional arrays, and also called as a tensor. So if you have an input, the input as a multi-dimensional array. So what we are doing here, that is input neurons, hidden layers, and output layers, all the things are multi-dimensional array only. Okay, so that is called, generally they were called as a tensors. And the next slide, the TensorFlow architecture. So it's called as a TensorFlow because the input as a multi-dimensional, so we already seen this one, and then you can construct the sort of flow chart for operation like called as a graph. Okay, so if you wanna do any process with the neural network neurons, you can construct like a graph. Okay, so first input layer this one, then output layer this one, then hidden layer this much, like that you will construct as a graph. Then you can perform your input data, then it will be give the output result. Okay, so input goes it from one end to another end. Okay, so that is generally called as a feed forward. Okay, so if we given the input data, if it will be go from one end to another end, and it will be back means it's called a back forward. Okay, backward forward, and here generally they are called as a feed forward. Okay, so generally that output data will be goes from input to output. Okay, so that is the uses of this one, multiple operation, and comes out of the other ends output. So TensorFlow, and here we can TensorFlow run. So now we now confirmed that the TensorFlow is nothing but it's a multi-dimensional array type. And here how you can use the TensorFlow in your PCs and CPUs. Okay, so you can use the TensorFlow either in hardware or software. Okay, you can use the TensorFlow either hardware or software. So first one, if you wanna use the TensorFlow with the hardware, then the software means you can use normally, that is you can install both the TensorFlow package in GPUs and well as in CPUs. Okay, so if you have a CPU configuration is high, you can install the TensorFlow in CPU, and if you don't have any CPU configuration, not that much configuration high, you can use GPU. Okay, using those CPUs and GPUs, you can install the package and then you can develop the code. Okay, so this is the when you can train the mode. The training usually done by in your desktop or lab, that is development phase. Development phase is nothing but if you are creating some input neurons, hidden neurons and output neurons, you can train using your desktop, that is called development mode. Okay, so there we have run phase mode also, that is once the training is done, the TensorFlow can run many different platforms. You can run like desktop, cloud and mobile device. That is, for example, if we have some data set, using that data set, if I train the neural network algorithm, okay, using that data set, if I train the neural network algorithm, I will, after training the model, I will take this model as a one module. Okay, that is I will take it as a particular type. Okay, one dumping, like it's like a pickle file or serialization process. Generally they will call it a serialization process. Okay, so if I train the model and the model will be trained, that will be called as a development phase. So after I am training the model, I will be retrieve the data as a serialization process, and this thing you can take it to any platform like iOS or Microsoft OS or any Android application or any other applications. Okay, so that is called run phase. Okay, so this is the thing we can use as a TensorFlow. Okay, then introduction to components of TensorFlow. One is tensor and graphs. Okay, so tensor is nothing but the TensorFlow is a computation involves like it's a vector matrix that is n-dimensional. So I told you it's a multiple dimensional, and we have values of tensor whole like data types with known, and then shape of the data and dimensionality of the matrix. So this is called generally tensor. And the graph is nothing but it's makes the graph framework. That is, using that graph framework we will build some TensorFlow. So the graph gather and describe all the series of computation done during the training. So during the training, what it will be happen and what are the values we are getting from tensors, those things will be we are taken from using graphs only. So advantage of graph is nothing but it was done by run multiple CPUs and GPUs, and even mobile operating system also we can use these CPUs. Okay, and the graph can be saved as a executable future, and all the components of the graph done by connecting the tensors together. Okay, so this is the thing we are going to do in graphs. Okay, then why the TensorFlow is popular? The one of the thing is it's a library package used to build by everyone. Okay, so who has the package you can build by everyone. So TensorFlow can be used for many way. Okay, and it is easy to build if you are even beginner also. So that's why the TensorFlow is popular. And the TensorFlow library incorporate the difference between API and build scale deep learning architecture like CNN and RNN. So we have like API, we can build using API also. Like you can use API like Keras, and you can build easily CNN and RNN type of neural network algorithms also. Okay, so that is the use of CNN and ANN, and it allows the developers to visualize the construction neural networks. That's yes, definitely, because if you are building any input neurons, hidden neurons, and output neurons, you need to see how it's predicting an output. That is how it's building an result. If you wanna see, means you can use the summary function. Okay, so using built-in summary function, you will comes to know the output result. So that is called development of visualized construction of neural network example. And we have like CPU and GPU, and TensorFlow attract the largest. That is mostly it's popular by GitHub only. Why? Because most of the codes in GitHub are used by TensorFlow only. So based upon that, most of the persons will be started to using TensorFlow packages. So this is the main thing we are going to see about how the TensorFlow is working. And here we have some of the algorithms. Okay, the list of programming algorithms supported by TensorFlow. First one is linear regression. We can use for linear type of, that is regression type of algorithm, and classification type. So generally, what is the difference between linear regression and classification? Means linear regression is nothing but we don't have exact range of prediction. Okay, we can predict from 0 to or 100, or we can predict from 100 to 200 or 0 to 1000, like that. We don't have exactly range. That is called linear regression. So we can apply for linear regression as a TensorFlow also, and we can apply classification type of TensorFlow also by using linear classification. Okay, and we have here, you can see deep learning classification also available, like DNN classifier and DNN linear combined classifier. Okay, so we can combine both regression and classification. So for that purpose also we have some other package, and here we have three type of regression and classification. So these are the algorithms we are having inbuiltly. We have in our TensorFlow package. You can import easily and then train the model. Okay, and here how to install the TensorFlow package. So how we can install the TensorFlow package, I will tell you. First of all, you need to open. Here you can see I already have the Anaconda Pro, so you can install the TensorFlow package. If you wanna use Anaconda Navigator, you can open your Anaconda Navigator, and in that you can install the TensorFlow package. Otherwise, if you need, I will show you both online and offline also. So this is for offline. So here you can install the package by using this application, Anaconda Navigator application. You can install the package. For example, here you can see I am opening the terminal, that is Anaconda terminal. So I am entering into the environment, and after I am opening the terminal, here I will use pip install, and here you can use TensorFlow. Okay, so using this command, you can install the package of TensorFlow for this Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so this is the way you can install the TensorFlow package in your PC. Okay, and if you are installing TensorFlow, means definitely you need Keras, because Keras is the API. Using this API only we are going to build the neural network algorithms. Okay, so we need Keras and TensorFlow combination, then only we will build easily and we can execute the line. Okay, so this is the way you can install it in your Anaconda Navigator. That is, you want to install this software. The software is available in official website also. So using that we can download it. Okay, so using that we can do for your PC. So this is the one way for installing the package in your PC. And we have another option. Here you can see, open the Google website. If you want to work on with directly with Google Colab also, we can use using Google Colab. So we can open your Google Colab, means automatically it will be give the. So using this Google Colab also you can run your files. Okay, so it's easy, and you can. So here this is the Google Colab. So here you can import your package. For example, if you want to import TensorFlow package, import TensorFlow. Here it's connected. Okay. So sometimes it won't give any success. Why? Because if you want the notebook file want to connect through cloud, so just wait for a few seconds, it will be automatically connected. Then here you can see I will be get suggestions which file you need to import. So TensorFlow or TensorBoard or TensorFlow plugin or TensorFlow hub. So we have different type of packages available. We can use those packages and import like this TensorFlow as TF. Okay, so like this we can import the package using TensorFlow as TF. So if you execute this line, automatically your TensorFlow package will be imported and installed. Okay, so this is just you need to create a new interactive Python notebook file only. So automatically it will be create an all the TensorFlow package. It's freely only, just we need to import the package and we will see the output only. So this is alerted by online. Okay, using cloud we are going to build the things. Okay, so that is the use of TensorFlow. Then if you are using Anaconda Navigator, here we need to install the package and we need to execute the code, but here we can easily import the package and execute the code. So what is the basic difference between Anaconda Navigator and notebook file is, if you are using a notebook file, you need always, that is, if you are using Google Colab, you need always internet connection to execute the packages, and sometimes it will be not an user interface when compared to Anaconda Navigator. But here if you install once to the Anaconda Navigator, we don't need to move on to the next steps and all. So sorry, we don't need to install it again, so automatically it will be saved in your PC. Then whenever you need, you can use the TensorFlow package and then install it. Okay, so if you wanna for example, if you want to check the TensorFlow versions, you can use like this, print, and here I am using TF dot version. Okay, TF dot version. So using this we can check the TensorFlow versions also. So here I already imported the TensorFlow, and here I am checking the TensorFlow version is 2.3.0. Okay, so now currently the TensorFlow version is 2.3.0. I imported the TensorFlow package. Okay, so if you wanna build a like simple neural network, what I showed in the PPT. So here you can see, here in PPT I showed you some of the input neurons, hidden neurons and output neurons. If you want to build, means we need to use the package called Keras. So Keras is the package used to build the input neurons, hidden neurons and output neurons. Okay, for example, here I am importing the Keras. Otherwise you can import like this also, from keras, and after importing the keras, if you need like model, any model you need means you can use like this models, and then in model I need to import the package of sequential model. You can easily import the package of sequential model. Okay, so after importing the from keras model sequential, you can build your neural network algorithm. Okay, so to build the neural network algorithm we need some neurons, so that is we need to build some layers, right? So you can import the layers from dense. Okay, you can import the layers from dense. Okay, so after you done this one, sequential and dense, you can move on to creating your own input layer, hidden layer and output layer. So for example, if I want to create an input layer, if I want to create a first layer, okay, the first layer you can use like this. Okay, for example, before we entering into the creating of new layer, we need to save this model into one variable. Here I am creating one model, and here I am saving the sequential function. Okay, so after I am saving this function, using that model only I will create my, that is using add function, I am adding within that model, I am adding the input layer. Okay, so here I have to give how many neurons you need. Okay, how many neurons you need as a first input layer. So for example, if you have a shape like 32 into 32 megapixel pictures means you need to give here input as a 32. Okay, otherwise if you are using the CSV file, you having an like 8 neurons, 8 columns in your CSV file, you need to train that CSV file means you can use here 8. Okay, so that is how many neurons you need to generate in that first layer. Okay, then you can pass the input dimension. Okay, so input dimension is nothing but here only we need to exactly calculate first input dimension only. So here if we have a 8 shape, that is 8 columns in your CSV file means you can use, that is CSV file is nothing but it's a data set. Okay, so you can download from online also. So using the data set you need to find the shape for you have 8 column means here I am giving an 8 neurons. Otherwise more than 8 neurons also I can give, it's not a problem, but less than 8 it's a problem. Okay, so that is input dimensional, and I will use some activation functions like here I will pass the activation functions. After input dimensional we need to use activation function. So activation function is nothing but if you are passing any data, we need to like here I need to pass dense neurons. Okay, this is the dense function only, we need to do all this process. Okay, so now if I give activation function, automatically it will come. Here activation function main aim is it will be predict the output result. Okay, what it should be. For example, if I train the cat and dog images means based upon the pixel value it will be give the prediction result. Okay, so that is the use of activation function. Here I will apply the ReLU, ReLU. So ReLU is one of the activation function. It will be just to predict whether it's a one or not. Okay, so using ReLU we can find this most of whatever data set you have, you can apply the activation function ReLU. It will be used, it will be suited for many purpose. Okay, so input dimensional and then 8. If you want here you can change for even 12 also, it's not a problem. So this is the way you can create your input dimension, that is input layer. So now I created the input layer, okay, with 12 neurons as the input layer, and I am passing the shape is 8. Okay, so this is the creation of input layer. And if I want to create a hidden layer, you can use model dot add and then dense. Okay, model dot add and then dense. After you done this one, I need to define how many neurons I need in hidden layer. So here I am passing the input dimensional 8, right? So here I will use 8. Okay, then after that I need to use an activation function. So activation function, same thing, I am using ReLU. So note one thing, ReLU will be always used for hidden layers only. Okay, so ReLU will be always used for hidden layers only, and it will be not used for output layers. Okay, so the output layer will be based upon your classification type. So if you want to predict like an 0 or 1, you can use the functions. Like if you want to predict with like zeros or ones, you can use the output, that is output layer, as a sigmoid. Or if you want to predict n number of classifications, that is nominal values, means you need to, that is multi classification, means you need to use like softmax. Okay, so it will be predict 0. If you want to predict like 0 to 1, 9 or 10, means you can use softmax. But ReLU will be applicable only for hidden layers and input layers. Okay, so now I created my hidden layers also. After I am creating the hidden layers, what is my last layer? It's the output. Okay, output layer is my last layer. So if I want to create an output layer, here I am using a model dot add, then I will use here same dense only. But here instead of dense, for example, if I want to predict whether it's a dog or not, okay, that is dog or cat, we can take it as whether, if I want to predict a dog or cat, that is whether it's a 0 or 1, right? So we can create here only one neuron, that is enough, with activation function, as a sigmoid. Okay, with the activation function as a sigmoid. But suppose if you want to predict like, instead of this, if you want to predict output layer multi-dimensional, like instead of this dog or cat or deer or what any other things, like frog, like that, you need to predict like multiple type of classification. That is, we need to predict like deer, cat or dog or frog, means you need to use here model, that is output layer. Here I am telling for output layer, and if you have a like this type of prediction class. Okay, so model dot then add, I am using the dense. Here according to which, how many class I have, 1 2 3 4, right? So here I will create a 4 1. If you have 10 also, you can create 10, it's not a problem. Then after that I need to predict an activation function. So that is I need to give the attribution function. Here the attribution function is different. Here I use sigmoid, right? Here I will use softmax. Using softmax I will be predict an output result for this type of classification. For if you have only type of 0s or 1, you can use like this type of softmax, and if you are use like this, you can use for like this type of softmax. Okay, so when I execute this cell, it's running. Okay, it's running, right? So now after I am executing this cell, you can view how it's builded also. Okay, so anybody have any doubt, you may ask using chat box. I will be reply you. Anybody have any doubt, you may ask using chat box. I will reply you the doubt. And even more, we have like we will use summaries and all. I will tell you about summaries, how we can see the compile functions and all. But just if you have any doubt about till now, if you have any doubt, you may ask. I will give the reply for your doubt. And if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel, because you will be get some knowledge not only in deep learning or not only in machine learning. You will be get even more IoT or different type of things also. And if you like this video, please hit a like button, and it will be boost up for us even more. You like this video, I think nobody have doubt. So I'll be move on to the back into the session. And now here I'm created my input layer, hidden layer and output layer. Then if you need to see how it's created also, you can use this function like model.summary, and I will show you how it's created. So, okay, so first neurons, dense neuron, second neuron and third neuron. Okay, the first neuron input shape is 12. So as it is, which what I am given here, 12. Then next neuron's input shape is 8. So here also I am giving 8. The next one 1 and 1. Next one parameter. So parameter you can see I am getting 108, 104, 9. What is the parameter is? It's nothing but we need to multiply the like this 12, okay, into that is the what is the current layer and what is the next layer, 8, and then plus 12. So if I calculate like this, I am getting 108, right? So 108 parameter, that is current layer, next layer, and then plus current layer value. Then if you need to calculate 104 also, that is what you have to do, 8 into previous layer, then plus 8. Then you will be get an output 104. Okay, so if you, how the 9 comes, like same thing only, current layer, that is 1, and previous layer, that is 9, and then current layer 1. Okay, so we will get an output 10, but we will predict our classification column will be a 1 only. Okay, so this is the way we can build our neural network algorithm, and we can see the summaries how it's there. So see here I am getting a non-trainable parameters, that is till now I am not trained the parameters. So till now we have a total parameters on 221, that is calculating up to 21 parameters, and trainable parameters is not there, and non-trainable. Okay, now if I move to this one, that is if I move to this step for the next position, next step, I need to build a compilation function. Okay, model dot compile. Using compile function, I will be build some like loss function, otherwise optimizers. Okay, optimizer is one of the important one, and then loss function, and then metrics. Okay, so using these parameters I will build my things. Okay, so what is the first of all, what is the use of optimizer is, optimizer will boost, that is it will be try to avoid the loss values. Okay, it will be try to avoid the loss values. So here as well I will, one of the best optimizer is Adam. Okay, Adam is the best optimizer, and here I will use loss function. So loss function, if I use here sigmoid, I will use here binary cross entropy. So I already told you sigmoid will be an used for binary classification, zeros or 1. So here I will use binary underscore cross entropy. And if you need to predict an accuracy result using metrics, you can find the accuracy of it. So if I am getting a loss value higher means accuracy value will be lower. If I getting a loss value lower means accuracy value will be higher. So this is for sigmoid. Okay, so what if I have multiple type of for softmax? What if I want softmax means the same code only for softmax also, but if you are using a softmax, here you need to change the output loss function. Okay, so this is the thing we need to do for loss and things like that. Okay, so this is for softmax. Okay, so here I will show you softmax. Okay, so when you are using softmax, you need to use the loss function as generally they will call as a like categorical cross entropy. Okay, so you need to use that like this, so it will be applicable for softmax. So this is the way you can build your deep learning model. Okay, so like compilation and input, that is input layer, hidden layer and output layer, and furthermore. Okay, so up to this, anybody have any doubt, you may ask it in our comment section. I will be give you the reply how it's working and any other things also. Okay, up to this, anybody have any doubt why we use optimizer? Mostly the optimizer will be used for improving the accuracy result. Okay, so why? Because deep learning algorithm will be trained based upon the errors only. Okay, so if you are giving any trained data, the data will be trained parallelly, it will be predict an accuracy result also. So if you are getting an accuracy result low, you need to increase the accuracy result higher. So for that purpose we are using some Adam optimizer for predicting a good accuracy result. That is the use of optimizer. And any other doubt? Number of features and number of parameters same? No, based upon your data, the number of features and number of parameters will be different. Okay, so if your input shape is 32 into 32 megapixel, you need to give a 32 neurons, and you need to, your parameters will be changed. So based upon the input shape, it will be different. Okay, so that is important. And any other doubt from your side? if you are new to this channel, please subscribe the channel and hit a bell icon. You will be get a notification each and every 4 o'clock with your new technology ideas, and then you also learn those technology. Okay, and it will be helpful for you for the futures. And if you need like this webinar for your college, definitely I will give the numbers. You can contact those numbers and they will discuss. Okay, so now I need to tell you some other things also, that is about internships and all. Okay, so we are offering a technical training program internship with IETE. You will be get a certificate of IETE logo, and the certificate is like 5 days duration. It starts from 3rd August and it's still going. That each and every week we are allotting the batches, and based upon the batches we will train the each and every day 5 days according to your choosing domains, whether it's a deep learning or machine learning or IoT or power electronics or power system. We will offering this internship 5 days. Okay, so if you need this internship, you need to give the fees amount is Rs 300 for ISF members and 350 for non-ISF members. And we are offering the internship program also. It's for 15 days, 3 weeks nearly. So each day we will take a class nearly 2 hours, and we are offering this one for 1600 per student. If you are non-IET members means, if you are IET members means we are offering for 1750. Okay, so if you need this and before any training program session, or if you need like this webinar for your college, you will contact the number Mr. Sendil Kumar and Mr. Srinivasan and Mr. Kumarasamy. Okay, so they will approach you and they will help you regarding your queries, and if you need like internships training program, they will help you. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding this webinar, you may contact me on hyd.java@pantechmail.com. and if you need to know about upcoming events and upcoming information means, you may contact me okay, on WhatsApp and Telegram. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you may post it in today's webinar. If you have any doubt, you may post it in the comment section. I will be leave for 2 or 3 more minutes. And I posted the today's attendance links also. Those who are attending the today's session, just register the link, you will be get a certificate. And we are connecting the 10 days internships also. If you want to register, you can register using that link, 10 days internship. Any other doubt regarding this webinar, you may ask now. I will tell you. So if you are like this video, you can hit a like button. It almost reached for 76 like, and it's having just 100. For reaching 100, just 34 only. You may hit a like button, and if you like this video, you can share it to your friends also. Your friends and group circle, they will also comes to know about Pantech e-learning and our programs. It will be motivate us. So I hope everybody will understood about this today's session, and we will share the certificate through mail. So those who are registered for today's session attendance link, and thank you guys, and we will see you on another one nice session. Thank you all. It's signing off from Kamalesh. Thank you.